And welcome once again to the Pacelli Coaches Show. And we've got another fantastic Pacelli coach. He's joining us for the very first time. It is the softball coach of Pacelli. It's Coach Larry Green. How you doing, Coach?
Hey, pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing great. Let's go ahead and get into your background. How long have you been coaching softball, and how long have you been the Pacelli softball coach? I know they building up their program from last year. Just give us a little brief synopsis of your coaching background.
All right. So I've been coaching sports over 20 years now. Started back in 2004 with just youth football. And then after coaching youth football for a long period of time, I ended up getting an opportunity to coach football at Pacelli, which that started back in 2018. And from there, I was with Coach Dre Legree, with Coach Jones throughout his tenure at Pacelli. And then, before Coach Black got done with his stint as athletic director, he asked me if I could, take over for softball. And so I took over softball from there and just hit the ground running. And I did coach softball, rec ball prior to that in the travel team. And so now it's just full-fledged softball right now for me.
Well, you're having a pretty good season this year, 7-8. Got a young team. But
Right.
Really, it's about laying the foundation. And what was the decision to bring back softball next year? I know that they built Gallman Field. They brought the program back. I know you played really a condensed schedule last year. Just talk about like everything that went into building Pacelli softball back.
So the main thing that went into it really was getting the players. Once I took over the program, I had to hit the ground running, got some players, we did an interest meeting, got players who was interested in, learning how to play softball. And we ended up getting some players that never played before. And then we had a couple players that did have some experience. From there, after year one was over, I was, very, very set strong on how can we be better. And so from there, I went out and just made sure I got some more players in. We started training. Even with our current players that was on a roster last year, we started training. A lot of them played a lot of travel ball. And once I started seeing them getting better, so it was the best thing for us to do was get players that we can build around them. And so that was the goal, and that's what we've been doing. And it's just been nothing but uphill from there.
Oh, no question about it. And some of your top players are eighth graders. Bella McBride is leading the team with a 489 batting average. Leah Jimenez with a 457 batting average. By the way, Bella McBride also leading the team in home runs and is got the best earned run average. Talk about a player like Bella McBride, who it really, when she's on the mound and when she's hitting, I mean, she has just been a great all-around softball player. And then you have some other players that have really stepped in that role, but it's really getting these young players to buy into your program. Or what are some of the steps that went into that?
So Bella McBride, so kind of give you a history on her. So I started coaching Bella back when I got into coaching rec ball. So when I coached rec ball a couple years ago, I built a relationship with her and her parents, and being able to get her over to Pacelli was absolutely a blessing because, one, you're talking about a great kid on and off the field. She works extremely hard. She can pitch, very accurate. She dominated a lot playing rec ball. She dominates when she plays travel. And then you talking about, you hear her, you see her batting average, you see how good she can swing the bat. And not only that, she can swing the bat so good, she can also run bases really good too as well.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times when she get on base, we got to pull out and, get a runner in for her just to give her a little break when she's on the mound. But, just the level of competitiveness that she shows and that she displays, you can't ask for a better player to, be on the mound or be in that batter's box for you because it's everything's possible for that kid when she steps to the plate or when she's on the mound.
Coach, I want to talk about this season. Obviously, you played mainly a condensed schedule last year. Did not play a whole lot of games, but as you're building a softball program, you're playing the likes of Columbus and playing Calvary Christian, playing a region schedule with Brookstone and Westfield School. Just talk about the region itself, because when you have teams like Calvary, who right now is currently ranked number 1 in the GIAA, Strong Rock, who made a deep run to the GIAA playoffs last year, a team like Westfield School who won the 3A state championship, and of course, what Coach Slade Stillwell is building at Brookstone, kind of in the same boat. We try to build that program. Just talk about how tough this region is and being able to compete with all these teams in this region.
Yes, no, I mean, absolutely. The region is very tough. I mean, you just look at it, just having to play teams who's very well coached, like especially Calvary Christian, they're very well coached. Over the past 2 years, I have grown a relationship with Coach Hallstead. He helps me out a lot on the back end stuff that's behind closed doors. And you talking about Strong Rock, and you talking about another team that has been defending state championship in 3A over the past few years. So you're looking at legit 3 established strong programs, and those girls can play on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. Even with Brookstone, I know they still in that building process too as well, but they got some really good ball players on their team that I actually, personally watch, not just in high school, but watch them play in travel season and rec ball season. So all those girls can play. But when we talk about the region is strong, what it boils down to is when you playing strong teams like Strong Rock, Westfield, and Calvary, even with Brookstone, you pretty much have to play your best game. You can't make any kind of mistakes.
Yes.
And those teams right there, they don't make a lot of mistakes, especially Calvary and Strong Rock and Westfield.
Coach, talk about playing at Gallman Field. Obviously, this is a brand new softball field. I remember 2 years ago when it was just a grassy field, just building a softball field like this right there on campus. How important was it to have your own field? I mean, you could have easily played at Diamond Field. I've seen softball teams that play on baseball fields, especially if it's turf. But how important was it to have your own field in Gallman Field?
It was very important to be able to have our own field so we can have our own space. One, because it definitely identified that the softball program is back at St. Anne Pacelli, because it has been going away for a while. And just like you stated too, it was an athletic field, because that's from years ago, that's where the middle school football team would practice on that field, because it was just grass. And so once the decision came back to bring the softball program back, it was stated by one of the coaches that helped us out a lot to make sure that field was ready to go was Coach Roger Beck. He stated, this is exactly what he stated. He was like, well, if y'all gonna be playing softball games here, y'all gonna play on your own field. And so, he was able to help us out on that. And even current my middle school coach, he's the one that went out there and got everything done and got all grass up, got all the measurements done. He put a lot of time and effort into that field last year, and now we just trying to make sure we maintain it, keeping crowds to coming through the gate and want to see Pacelli softball. So it's definitely been a blessing to be able to have the school and those two individuals to be able to, help and make the softball field be a reality, be able to play at Gallman Field, be at home and play on campus.
Coach, I've had the privilege of watching your team several times on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. Dave Plata has done a phenomenal job. One thing that really stood out is that win that you had against Creekside. I mean, that was back on September the 3rd. Creekside's a 4A school that made the playoffs last year. I don't know if anybody knew that, but the way you dominated Creekside, you've beaten teams like Flint River. You went toe-to-toe with Columbus, and you've actually been very competitive, beat a Hardaway team that made the playoffs last year. I know that right now the record does not reflect the type of team that you have, Coach, but at 7-8, how satisfied are you with the growth and development of your team and being competitive against the GHSA schools as well as the GIAA schools?
Oh man, I'm never satisfied, but I can say this. I am very, very beyond proud of the growth and development of our players. You talk about some young ladies that been in the weight room since June, some been in since March, buying into the weightlifting program, buying into speed training, buying into training and finding ways to get better, eliminating distractions, and which that is a main thing for me too, is taking care of the small things. And these young ladies, words can't describe their work ethic, because they literally put in the work. I mean, it'll give you chills that you can just go out there and watch them work, and you'll see how hard they just get after that practice every single day. And then not only that, just also the way they treat treat their teammates too as well. And they're a big group of young ladies that's family with each other. They do everything with each other. And when we get on the field, it shows based off how they communicate, how they move, and it'd be some ups and downs, especially with the emotion part when bad things happen. And that's one of the things that we've been preaching is to push through the bad things and overcome it, and let's keep building off the good things. And so, extremely, extremely, extremely satisfied with their production, how they play, how they perform, how they don't give up. They're going to play 7 innings. I can tell you that, and they're built to play more than 7 innings if they get an opportunity to do it. And they just very, very hungry, which is very impressive to see, especially with such a young team with only 5 juniors, and a couple of the juniors only been playing for a couple of years now. But just to see how bought into the program development and getting better, it's remarkable.
Coach, talk a little bit about that hitting facility at the Beck Center. What are some of the features it has, and how often do you use it over there? Because I've seen you over there a couple times when we've made our way to the Beck Center. Just talk a little bit about that.
Oh man, we in there every day. We was actually just in there Sunday.
I figured you would be, Coach. I just
we was in there yesterday getting some batting in. The facility is perfect, man, especially with the space and dealing with the weather, and then also dealing with with middle school softball being in place, going on too as well. So we got to make sure that they have time that they can get their field work and fit their field practice in. So a lot of times we take advantage while they're on the field, we're in the batting cages. It get hot. It's still hot in there, even though it's indoor, but it gets extremely hot. But the space on one side of the facility, it's a lot of space, so we can work on our glove work. We can do throwing in there. We can work grounders. Can't really do pop flies, which is fine, but we can do the basic fundamental stuff that we need to get done in there. And then as far as the other side with the 2 cages, we have 2 cages in there. Once we get in there, we have a good T rotation going on. Everybody gets a lot of reps, a lot of swings. And then off to the side too as well, we'll have a bullpen going on with the pitchers and catchers being able to work. So it's very beneficial having that indoor facility that we continue to grow and get our work done in there.
All right, Coach, your team is currently ranked 10th in the latest rankings in the 4A classification for the GIAA. Only 8 teams will make it to South Commons, but you have a big region game tonight against Brookstone, which is ranked number 9. You've already beaten Brookstone. I know that you've got some games in front of you. What is it going to take to try to get this team to try to get into the playoffs? Because I know that that's got to be the goal, is for you guys to get to South Commons and play in front of your home fans here in Columbus.
Yes, absolutely. That is the goal. Right now, just like you stated, we got Brookstone here this afternoon at 5 o'clock. And we're just taking the one game at a time right now. I know Brookstone going to come out prepared. And it's always hard to beat another team twice. So we just got to make sure that we're prepared and ready to go, and that we can, keep our heads under control when bad things happen, and keep building off things when good things happen. And then from there, I know after that, we got Strong Rock and we got Westfield. And one of the things that I keep saying to the girls, we got to beat the teams that we're supposed to beat, and we had to beat the teams that no one expected us to. We got to win the games that we're not expected to win. And we can go out there and perform at the level that I know that we can perform. I mean, I really see us getting that AC, but it starts tonight by taking care of Brookstone first, and moving on to the next game after that.
And Coach, my final question to you is, what's the message to the Pacelli community out there that wants to support Pacelli softball? I see on the schedule there are several home games remaining. So how can they come out to Gallman Field and support Pacelli softball? And what are some other ways that they can support the program?
They can definitely come to a game. I would say definitely come to game. Look at us on our we on Match Preps. You can find the schedule there on our Go fan page, our Pacelli Sports, that we have all access to everything, and everybody can have access to it. Especially, I like the fact that we do have the Pacelli Sports app that they can download and see games and get the schedule. And then also too, it's just come on campus, come watch these girls play. I think our next home game is Monday against Hardaway at 5:30. you want to come see some young ladies that can play and just get after it, definitely come out and come check us out on Monday.
No question about it. Good luck tonight against Brookstone, and good luck the rest of the way this season, Coach. And hopefully you guys can maybe sneak in and get that 8th and final playoff spot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
All right, that's the Pacelli softball coach, Larry Green. Thank you once again for watching another edition of the Pacelli Coaches Show presented by the Beck Center. And I hope you have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.
Are you looking for a powerful new Chevrolet or GMC truck and a great deal? Check them out side by side at Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take your choice of new Chevrolet and GMC 1500 trucks discounted up to $12,000 off. Chevy and GMC heavy-duty trucks discounted up to $7,000 off. People from all over the USA save at Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. Get ready to smile.
What's up, everyone? Thrift Barringer live from the Beck Center. It is the Pacelli Coach Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, and I am with the head football coach, as we're going to have every single week, Smitty Grider. Coach, thank you as always for your time, man.
Thank you for coming out.
All right, Coach, let's get into it. Obviously, not a great performance on Friday. It is what it is. You played a really good school in Whitfield that I think is going to do some damage in the GHSA. Let's just start here. What'd you learn about your team, and what are some things you want to work on from moving forward?
Well, we are a really good first half team.
Yeah.
We've played the 3 losses we've had. We've been in the game at halftime, and we've just some things have gone against us in the second half, and what we got to figure out is how to finish games.
Yep.
And how to deal with adversity. All 3 of the games we had a lot of adversity to deal with in the second half, and we haven't been able to overcome it.
Right.
That's something that we've talked about. With the team yesterday and the coaching staff, just what can we do different, and whether it be in practice or meetings or at halftime of games or whatever, that we can play better in the second half and also better when we're dealing with that adversity.
There we go. Coach, let's talk about some of the we want to keep it all negative. We want to talk some positive. What's some positive?
Be honest about the game. We offensively had a really good night.
Yeah, you moved the football.
We had drives that stalled out because of penalties that we've got to overcome that. But DJ Colvin had a big night. I haven't finished the stats. I was working on it before we started the show.
Yeah.
He had a big night. Both quarterbacks played well. I tell you, receiving-wise, J.D. Davis.
He's killing
huge
it.
Night. He had a bunch of catches. A lot of yards. Mike Rowe continues to get better at receiver, and John Thompson he caught several balls. Offensively, we played pretty well.
Right. We
did have a fumble in the fourth quarter that really we got to work on that. That was with a young back that was in at the time, and he's got to work on his ball security. But then defensively, man, in the first half, we played pretty well. We got 2 turnovers on fumbles. We got a big stop down on their end. We got a stop on their first series of the second half to give us a chance to take the lead. But once we gave up an interception, the score's 28-24, and we got the ball late in the third quarter.
Yep.
We throw an interception, and they run it back down close on our end and punch that in. And from that point on in the night, defensively, we kind of wilted. We didn't play with as much of a sense of urgency. We didn't tackle well. We missed a bunch of tackles, and they've got a back too that's very similar to the kid at Stratford.
Yeah.
He's really good, and we just didn't tackle in the second half, and it hurt us. We had a bunch of penalties. It became almost comical, the number of penalties that we had in the game, and I think the guys, recognize, hey, we're not going to come out of here with success, and we kind of gave in at the end, and the score really got away from us. It's not indicative of the game.
No doubt.
Late in the third quarter, it's 28-24. And we've got the ball, and we got to learn how to overcome that kind of adversity.
Yeah, all season long. And Coach, I commend you for coming in here because it's one of those things you embrace it and you move forward. You can't wilt about it. You can't sulk on it. What was the message to the team afterwards and then moving forward this week? Like, guys, I know we're 2-3, but the real season starts now with region play coming around the corner.
Yeah, they're disappointed. We really didn't see ourselves at 2-3 when this season started. But, a lot of things have contributed to that.
Injuries.
But the big thing is, like you said, region play starts this week.
Yep.
That's what's important. Every one of our goals is out in front of us. There's nothing we can't accomplish with this team. We've just got to learn to play on the road.
Yep.
And to overcome adversity and deal with that. But, I'm proud of the fight in the guys, and we'll see. We had a great meeting yesterday with the players, and hopefully today's practice. The thing that we emphasize with them is let's do everything right. Do the little things right, whether it be in a meeting room, in the weight room, practice, every rep, the best of your ability, and do it right. And I think, I think everything's in front of us. I think we've got a great opportunity. We have gotten better.
Yeah.
And we just got to continue to do that.
I completely agree with you, Coach. And then you're taking on Strong Rock. We'll get into that in just a moment. But you played some tough teams early on.
We have.
FPD's pretty good. They're ranked top 3. Stratford is undefeated. They just took down the number 1 team, 41-17, in Brookstone. And then Whitfield's pretty good in GHSA. Again, I know it's not how you wanted to start it, but these are games that you can look back and build upon as you head into region play. So is that kind of the mindset with you and the staff? Let's focus on the positive. Let's work on what we need to get better at, and we can still be good.
Absolutely. I don't think it's time to panic by any means. We've played 3 tough teams on the road. We're definitely been in some battles, so hopefully they have prepared us for this region play run that we're about to start, and that'll get us ready for the playoffs. We're going to probably have to play FPD or Stratford again on the road
no
in the
doubt.
Playoffs, and we got to be ready for that. So, this week is big. We got to start 1-0 in region play, and Strong Rock has a good team. It's on the road. We're going to have to win on the road regardless if we want to get to the state championship. And why not a better week than this week to start that?
What we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break. It's the Pacelli Coach Show here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. When we come back, we're going to talk about those Strong Rock team and how we're preparing this week. It's the Pacelli Coach Show. We'll be right back after this.
For the big, for the small, the short, and the tall. Peacemakers, risk takers. For the optimists, pessimists, exhibitionists. For long distance love. For the farsighted, nearsighted, for introverts and extroverts, for the thinkers and the doers, for old friends. Coca-Cola, for everyone.
Houlihan serves fresh, handcrafted dishes made just the way you like them. Juicy burgers, sizzling steaks, crisp salads, and shareable appetizers set the table for every appetite. Relax with friends, celebrate special moments, or enjoy a casual night out. Houlihan's delivers great food, great drinks, and great times, with 2 locations in Columbus, downtown at the Marriott Hotel and on Sidney Simons Boulevard at the Doubletree Hotel.
Welcome back here to the Pacelli Coaches Show. I'm here with Smitty Grider. All right, Coach, we got Strong Rock coming up. They're 4-2. They just lost to Bullock Academy, another really good 4A team. Strong Rock, obviously, if you look at the schedules, and I'm going to say this, not you, Coach, but strength of schedule, obviously, they have not played near the tough competition as you have. They haven't been on the road as you have, but that's neither here nor there. They play who's in front of them, and they're 4-2. What do you know about Strong Rock, and what's your game plan heading into this week to start 1-0 in region play?
Well, they're a very physical team. They want to run the ball. That's their mentality. They stop the run, and they want to run it.
Right.
And so, we're going to have to be really good up front on both sides of the ball to defend what they do. And then, again, to run the football effectively, we're going to have to be good up front. We're going to continue to do what we've been doing. Our offense has just gotten better and better and better. And they're very solid. They don't do anything that wows you, but they just win.
Right.
And so it's going to be a challenge. The big challenge for us, really and truly, going into this game is going to be mentally.
Yeah.
Can we be prepared Can we weather the storm? Because there's always a storm on the road. There's always negative things that happen that you got to deal with. And if we can do that, then I feel good about our chances. If we get the, oh, here we go again mentality,
no doubt,
bad things happen, because they're going to happen in a big game on the road, then we're going to have problems. So we've got to be mentally prepared to weather a storm when it happens, and then do what we do. Offensively, we got to put points on the board. We got to move the football, play with tempo, all those kind of things that we want to do. And defensively, our Achilles heel all season has been big plays.
Yeah.
We've got to eliminate big plays. We've given up more 50-yard runs and 60-yard passes than probably any team I've ever coached. And we've got to figure that out. We've got to tackle better, especially in the secondary, and we've got to be physical up front. And that's the key to winning. I don't care what level you play or what league or whatever.
No doubt.
That's what we've got to do.
Yeah, building that confidence up. And by the way, I only had 2 home games in the first 5. I mean, brutal schedule to start off. I mean, it's neither here nor there, Coach, but you do get 3 of the next 5 at home. But how important is it to get off to a hot start? In the previous couple of games, you talked about you've been a first-half team, but how good would it be to be up 14-0 instead of having to battle back? Because then you have a newfound confidence in your team. Has that been a point of emphasis?
Well, we always talk about getting off to a good start. That's one of the things we emphasize. We want to start fast. What we haven't done is finish strong.
There we go.
We've got to start fast and accelerate through the middle, then finish strong. And that's something that we've talked about a lot. We'll continue to talk about. Everything that's happened in games that we've played has been about us and not the other team.
Good point.
What we've done, whether negatively or positively, it's been about us. And so we feel like all 3 games we could have had a chance to win if we'd have executed when the game was on the line. And so once we learn to do that, we're going to be really, really good.
Yeah.
And that's what we've got to do.
Yeah.
And penalties have killed us in those games as well, and that's something else that we've got to work on.
Yeah, and you don't get, I'm not saying unfair whistle, but when you go on the road, Coach, you're kind of working against the 8 ball. So how do you get your guys not letting penalties, as you made mention with Whitfield, it seemed like the penalties were becoming so much overcome. The guys were like, all right, there's no way. How do you not allow them? Because they are kids, and it would affect me as a grown man.
Sure.
So I can understand if it affecting a kid too.
Well, the coaches kind of have to set that example. We've got to do a better job of controlling our emotions when it's going against us like that, because the kids feed off of that.
No doubt.
And that starts with me. We've got to maintain our composure when we start having those kind of issues and not let it bleed over into the kids. And that starts with me as the head coach. And I've got to do a better job of that, and then I've got to do a better job of holding my coaches accountable to do the same thing.
Coach, you seem upbeat. You seem positive. You don't seem like the roof's falling on you right now. Is it because of experience? What is it that's kept your wits about you trying to finish out this season strong?
Well, I'm at practice every day. I see the talent that we have on this team. I see what kind of kids we have, and I just believe, man. I believe that this coaching staff we have can get it turned in the right direction. I don't, like I said earlier, it's not time to panic,
right,
man. I mean, we've played. It isn't like we've lost to bad teams. So we can fix what we're doing, and once we do that, like I said, we have a really good team, and I'm confident in our coaching staff and these kids that we're gonna get it right, and I can't wait to see what kind of team this is when everything is clicking. When we're doing things right and we're able to have that success.
I can't wait to be back here next week when we're talking about a big win and you're 1-0 in the region.
Well, that's the plan.
Who cares about 3-3? 1-0 is where it matters, and that's what you're trying to go this week. Coach, thank you so much.
Thank you,
His name is Smitty Grider. Thank y'all so much for watching. It's the Pacelli Coach Show, live from the Beck Center in Georgia, Alabama.